Hi, let's talk today about the residential property disclosure form. This is a 5-page form that becomes part of the purchase contract. Its intent and purpose is to protect both the buyer and the seller in the transaction. The seller fills out the form at the time of listing the home, and the buyer reads and signs the form at the time of making an offer. Their signature is that they have seen and read the form. The buyers are relying on the sellers to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this seller's market, where oftentimes buyers are having to waive asking for a remedy from an inspection in order to get a home. So what must the seller disclose in this document? So my rule of thumb is, when in doubt, disclose it. I believe this is in fact a show of transparency to the buyer that builds a level of trust. If we don't have trust in a transaction, lots of things can get sideways real quickly. So follow the golden rule of doing unto others as you would want to receive when you're buying a home. So some of the things that need to be disclosed, and of course the form asks specific questions, but keep in mind these other things. Any safety or health hazard, like if you know that your home has mold, radon, lead paint, asbestos, any of those things, that your electrical panel has problems and you're blowing fuses all the time, or that you have a plumbing leak, put those things on there. Mechanical issues that you know, if you know your AC or your furnace doesn't work, you should put it on there. If you have appliances that don't work, please put it on there. If you know you have a structural defect, you should put it on there. If you know that you have a new roof, put that on there. That's a positive. All of these things, just help the buyer feel more comfortable that you are giving them all of the fair and honest information about the house so that they can make the highest and best offer possible. If you've had any previous water damage inside or outside your house, especially at the foundation, but it could be under a refrigerator, under a sink, this could cause problems with mold and things like that a buyer really wants to know about. Some people have very severe allergies and they can't buy a house when they know that that kind of thing is there. Let's don't get all the way into the deal with them and then have them back out because they find that out later. That's just no help to anybody. If you have done renovations on your home, you should disclose the work and whether or not it was permitted. Some things don't require a permit. But if you can't decide if a remodeling project is big enough to disclose, again, always best to err on the side of disclosing it. If you've ever had any pests in your home and had them treated, you should let people know that. When they do the inspection, if they find these things out then and they weren't on the form, they aren't going to assume you forgot. They're going to feel a lack of trust, and we definitely don't want that. So what happens if you did forget something and you realize, oh my gosh, I forgot to put that on my form? Just call me. We can add it to the form and we can disclose it to anyone who's in possession of it. We'll just repost it on the listing and all of that. So yeah, buyers do their own home inspections. And yes, it is a buyer beware. However, like I said before, if once they inspect, they find out things that you should have known that you didn't disclose, that were in any way obvious to your ownership, you might just have killed your deal. And we definitely don't want to go through that. When a home goes back on the market after inspection, it almost always commands less money. So plus at that time, you'll have to disclose your inspection report. So always best to just be very slow and careful about filling out this form and think about everything that the questions are asking and what would you want to see if you were buying a home. Thanks for listening.